Hi, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is February 22nd. Today's episode is going to cover a new tokenomics newsletter that Jasper and I are starting, news of node operators leaving. That's linked to some of the negativity I guess we've been experiencing recently and the ratio going down, and also maybe more liquidity coming in from Marcy. Let's have a look.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
So let's get started here with a summary of yesterday's episode. As you all know, well, as some of you know who've already watched yesterday's episode, there were some audio problems that I had. Basically, on my mic right here, there is a button called gain, and my son played with that button, and I didn't realize that he had. And because he played with that button, the audio settings changed on the mic, which meant the sound was kind of cutting in and out. So there was a lot of stuff that was covered in yesterday's episode that people didn't get the full information about. One of those was, staking with RPL, how the rewards are increasing. If you stake with Rocket Pool, the RPL rewards are going up. And that's because so many node operators now below the 10% collateral, they won't be getting any RPL rewards. So their rewards will be shared out amongst those people who are getting RPL rewards, and the APR is now around 9%. Then after this, there was a question of will Rocket Pool turn around? There's an idea that, Rocket Pool hasn't been doing so well recently, and the price of RPL has been going down a lot. The protocol is, stagnant in terms of growth, etc. And there was a really long, this was actually like a good 13 or 14 minute segment where, people in trading were talking about the tokenomics changes and everything that's happening with those, and how that has the potential to really boost Rocket Pool and help it grow massively. After that, I talked about Rocket Fuel metrics, like the metrics for this show, and how my view count is getting bigger, and how that's a sign for there being renewed interest in Rocket Pool, but also in crypto as a whole, and how people are slowly coming back to crypto, and how this is a good sign for potential future bull market. After that, I gave an update of a chat that Logris had with Nimbus team, and I didn't actually listen to that, so I couldn't really tell you about what was covered in there. I also talked about there being a new Bankless Academy quest for RETH. That's live now, so you can go follow that and watch that. I gave some information about Denver Liftoff and how Ken is preparing some business card style handouts with information about the event that he's going to give to everyone to attend. We talked about how if you want to provide liquidity for our ETH on base, there's some really, really good yields out there right now for that. There were a couple of client updates that I mentioned as well. And then I finished the episode by talking about Find Your Moon's technical analysis about ETH, and especially about RPL, and how he said that the key number to look at is 0.0076. As long as we stay above that, then everything is still in line for a bullish cycle for Rocket Pool. But that's the main thing that we need to be looking at. That's a ratio to protect. So now that we've covered a summary of yesterday's episode, let's start with today's news. And this starts here with the tokenomics newsletter that Jasper and I are starting, that I mentioned. So basically, one of the things that's been coming up over and over again in trading recently is that there's all these amazing tokenomics changes that are either taking place or about to take place, and the community is working on, but nobody really knows what it is or how it works or what's going on with that. Well, Jasper and I are going to start a newsletter. Jasper says here, so me and Wack will be teaming up on the Rocket Pool Tokenomics newsletter. Hopefully we'll release twice a week, doing brief overviews of pertinent topics to catch people up on what's going on and get them ready. This is please throw ideas for topics in this thread, and anything you think we should do. It'll be on Medium. It'll probably start a dedicated Twitter account for it. So then you can have a look over here. Jasper goes on to say, the current ideas list includes what is sublinear bonding, what does it mean for earnings and commission, and then scale, how does sublinear bonding get us to millions of RETH, and then what is RPIP 30 for dummies and what's that changing, ETH only staking as a concept, and Lido's LSM, maybe, I'm not sure what that is, that threat, liquid staking module, Lido's staking module, Lido's community staking module threat, maybe. I'm not sure what that he means by that. I guess that's what it means. The RETH protection, like how and why, like what does that mean? And then, what has the team said so far? Review of the reviews from the rapid research, summary of Val's work so far, summary of Samus's work so far as well. And Val says, he has a strong preference for not publishing ahead of the community. He says like his proposal is not ready yet, and that's just letting us know. He says it's just about getting the big ideas, the past stuff, basically getting all that out. And then Samus says, you should have fun with this after ETH Denver. Some of the core ideas are probably going to stay the same, just the details of what gets implemented, how we should frame it, that's up in the air. And Jasper said we can even do guest features as well. And basically that's the idea, is that we'll start working on like some of the stuff that's already kind of talked about, like the RPIP 30 stuff that's already finished ish, and then we'll also talk about like some of the earlier suggestions that people had and what they mean and all that kind of stuff. So we'll build up, and as new information comes in, we can start presenting more and more information. Here Sneaky had some ideas about like other topics, like the Stark airdrop, etc., but I think that's outside the scope of what we want from this. We ideally want it to just be about new tokenomics, basically, and what that includes. So Valdorf says, is this education or just hype? And I said, this is education for sure. So many people don't understand what's going on right now. And yeah, so this is something I'm really excited about. I'm really looking forward to like digging into these topics. And you all know that, we talk about all of these things all the time. So it makes sense that Jasper and I want to start getting something in writing for the wider community, because too many people don't know what's going on. Okay, we already covered that, I guess. Okay, next we have some sad news about node operators who are exiting. So there are a lot of people who are below 10% collateral, and I think, with all the FUD, well, not FUD necessarily, just negative sentiments around Rocket Pool and RPL, I think it's really leading to the point where some people are making the decision to leave their nodes and withdraw their stake. So one of the things that's happened because of that is the deposit pool is now overflowing, and we have 19,500 ETH in the deposit pool, and just above the maximum. So it doesn't matter that much because there's not much of a premium right now. So it's not like people are arbing it, but we've definitely had a few node operators who are leaving the protocol, and that's really sad. But I really do feel like the end of this negativity is in sight. We just need like some small catalyst, like even just a price increase would in itself help us so much, but it's just a matter of when that comes. So yeah, so talking about the price increase, one of the reasons why the price hasn't is what it is, and like it hasn't fallen more potentially, is because Marcy a few days ago added a bunch of liquidity, and he yesterday then posted in trading saying, do we need another green wall? So let's have a look at the green wall he added. So this was, right in the middle of the screen between 0.009 and 0.01. He added like, I think more than $1 million worth of liquidity there. So he added a whole lot of ETH ready to buy RPL as the price went down. And yesterday there was a sell of $1 million of RPL from someone. So it really ate into his wall. So then I guess he's saying like, do we need another wall? And if we do, then, he can add more liquidity to make sure that we have we can absorb that there. So he also made a couple of other comments as well about like how he wouldn't be buying RPL if he didn't think that Rocket Pool was going to do well, and he basically insinuated that he thinks there's good things ahead. So I can't find the exact post right now, but that's what he was saying. So people kind of got a little boost of positivity from there, because a lot of people really like Maso, and they really like they listen to what he says basically, and like they take a lot of comfort from that, I guess. So the fact that he's supporting this, like adding more liquidity, like adding a little bit more depth hopefully to this downside, like just adds a little bit of faith that we aren't necessarily going to crater in price more than we already have, hopefully. Okay, next we got this news from Sommelier Finance, and they're saying that the first Sommelier vault in Arbitrum continues to surge and has gained over $3 million in TVL in the first week. They say that this multi-strategy vault dynamically optimizes ETH LSTs like Lido Finance's ST-ETH and Rocket Pool's R-ETH across Aave and Uniswap, and it says learn more at Sommelier Finance. So they're saying that note the Sommelier vaults are not open to persons or citizens of the United States and other restricted countries. For more details, please refer to the Sommelier user terms. And basically, like, I guess if you want to use these vaults, then you'll have to go to Sweden or somewhere else. Like I like to go to Sweden, when I'm doing stuff that they don't like me doing in the US. But if we have a look over here, then the R-ETH vault, let me see if I can find it. I should have checked this. R-ETH. So this vault is the Turbo Div ETH vault. No, that's not the right one. Yeah, it's one of these vaults anyway. It looks like the percentages are pretty good. So if you want some of those yields, then definitely check out Sommelier Finance. Of course, like I always say, I've not used this protocol before, so interact with it at your own risk. Okay, next we have this post from Logris the Bard, and Logris has a reputation in the ETH Finance Discord for kind of being really smart. I guess he's like ETH Finance's version of Valdorf, but not quite the same level as Valdorf. Logris. But he really talks about like different DeFi protocols, and he talks about the different like the Ethereum DeFi ecosystem basically, and like what's going on there. And he in the past had a thesis about the RPL token and like its potential price appreciation. Well, he's kind of bought into the negativity that's going around right now as well. And he says, so I've seen some people borrow RPL instead of buying it. It's obviously a pretty good deal if you believe that price is going to go down perpetually, because of course, you pay your loan back in RPL, but the ETH price is a lot better. So you pay much less RPL to get all your ETH back. Wait, I'm not describing that right. Something like that. It works out better for you if the price keeps going down. Of course, if the price goes up, you can get liquidated. So here, Logris then says, RPL is once again too little too late to the liquid restaking game, which is a real shame. The hybrid theory post from Jasper is the initial idea, but it isn't well-formed strategy for the DAO. There's some serious discussions in the RPL Discord right now to change the RPL tokenomics entirely. I'd recap, but there are competing views, so it's best to look it up yourself. This is Rocket Pool have consistently behaved as purists in the ecosystem driven by memes and tribalism. They definitely never participated in the curve wars. They did nothing to address the scaling bottlenecks. They apparently never really considered LRTs, despite me writing about how transformative Eigenlayer would be for literally years. And they paid far too much to their PDAO members. I think he means ODAO members, who should have been contractually obliged to invest the RPL into growing the ecosystem. He said, do I believe in them? I don't think Rocket Pool itself is going away, but I do think the tokenomics will be overhauled, as they need a serious offering, and they need a serious offering in the LRT space like ASAP that lives up to their ideals. Having our ETH holders have to select their own EVSs is as unrealistic as having every ETH holder select their own node provider. It says forcing every node provider to have to figure out every EVS basically means that we can expect the average Rocket Pool node operator to have subpar yield compared to more centralized ones. Again, there is a lot they could have done to cement themselves in this new ecosystem if they'd started a year ago. Just like with Ethereum staking, they're coming late to the party, and I fear it's going to prevent them from hitting the market share that would be good for the Ethereum ecosystem. So that was what Logris said. He got a couple of comments and replies. I had some of my own ideas about Rocket Pool pivoting towards being a LRT. Of course, you all heard my summary of Jasper's article. LRTs have risks involved that LSTs don't. Also, LRTs will have limited DeFi integrations potentially because of the inherent less safety that they have, because they're maximizing their efficiency for Eigenlayer integration. If anything happens with that, it adds layers of risk to it, right? Like they could get slashed on Ethereum, they could get slashed on Eigenlayer, and because of those added risks, it's less likely that like you'll be able to do things like looping or folding or other DeFi activities like taking loans against your crypto at high loan to value ratios. So those are some of the things that like Logris is really missing here. But also, he kind of waves over this updated tokenomics thing. Like the idea is, right, like you want your token to be as efficient as possible, right? Like you want your you want to have the best yields, you want to be the most decentralized, you want all of those attributes to exist. And there's a balance that comes into it. Like if you just chase yield, then you'll go to Lido or you'll go to other centralized options, right? But if you want the fewer tail risks involved, then you start to value things like decentralization and who the node operators are, how many node operators there are, all of those things a lot more. And LRT, like Eigenlayer, everyone's talking about Eigenlayer, but there is a chance that Eigenlayer as a product, might not be worth spending a year of development on, when you could be spending that year of development on making Rocket Pool the most decentralized protocol, like Houston is going to make it, or spending time working on tokenomics updates like the community did with RPIP 30, or how the whole community is doing now with Saturn upgrades and like the changes that we want to do for that. So these are different ideas about how Rocket Pool should go, but Logris, I think it'd be really cool if he did spend more time in the Rocket Pool community and offering some of his expertise and his opinions, because I know that he's a really smart guy and has like really cool insights into DeFi. I really like this comment over here about from Veskatic. I can't really read that name. The writing's really small. He says, Curve is unsuitable for a value accruing token like RETH due to shifting pool balances and has been inefficient with regards to bribes for some time. So this is why, the Curve didn't want to make us a factory, because they would have had to recode it. So we had to then peg with Lido's wrapped STETH, because then they were like products. So that's just showing like, the Curve weren't really suitable for Rocket Pool at the time, because Curve didn't want to help RETH. And it says, this person then goes on to say, meanwhile, owners of Curve experience the looming threat of Michael's debt and the systemic risk its default represents. And then says the wrapped ETH ETH pool is largest on Balancer and has been incentivized by the PDAO since 2020. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that have been written about Rocket Pool and that people are saying, but I really think that they're not presenting the full idea. So let's see what happens. Okay, next we got some really interesting statistics that Halululo has gathered from the Rocket Pool community. So one of the things that he did was he was finding out who are the people who've been most active in trading and in the support channels. And here he got this like with time, basically, like how much time have the people spent in the channels. And the way he worked it out, I don't understand the full math of it, but it's basically every time someone posts, that counts as 5 minutes as a base time. And then it counts like the time between the posts. So if you make 2 posts over a 15-minute period, then that's how it counts. So it counts these blocks of time and then kind of adds them up and sees how long you've actually spent in trading by counting the number of posts that you made. And of course, it's not 100% accurate, and it's not going to give you the full information. But it's really it was really interesting. So number one person who's contributed in trading all time has been, in terms of hours, has been Invis, and then Waldorf is catching up really fast, considering that he's been in trading for much shorter amount of time than Invis has. So Invis has 2,817 hours. Val has 2,494 hours. And then you've got the big names, right? Like the ones that like Joe, Jasper, Noshua, Patches, Sneaky, like a whole bunch of other people. And for me, I am number 20 on this list, which, considering that the Rocket Pool community has thousands of people, I actually think that's pretty cool. So I'm definitely not going to say no to that. And then we also got this other list. There was a table here, basically, top trading contributors over time, and it just shows you how those people, the top 10 kind of changed over time. And you can see that Waldorf's line, the gradient of his line is pretty much vertical. He started around the middle of 2022, and now he's like the second most person in there in terms of time in the community. And Patches has done well, and his lines kind of got a good gradient there as well. And the person who has kind of fallen off recently, but was also on a really strong trajectory, was Joe. Basically, since over the last year, it looks like, according to this, like his line has kind of gotten a lot flatter because he's just been trading so much less than he used to be. He's just been really busy with work, I guess, and like life stuff. They've just had a second baby, so that kind of has leveled off a little bit. But he was like the top, for a while, or one of those that was like right at the top. And then this was a mixture of trading and support, and because Halululo showed this information about support first, because he was working on the grant and he was trying to figure out how much he's contributed to support, and then using that data to show trading as well. There was actually a little bit more. I think either it was before this or after this. There was another post as well that has gone missing now, but that was just for a certain period of time, and on that one I was number 13. So I guess I spend a whole lot of time in trading, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, I think this was the all-time list. I'm not sure where the last. Oh, here it is. So this is contributors since January 1st of 2022. And on this one, Val, of course, Val is number 1 because he joined after that time. Invis is number 2, and Jasper's number 3, and it's a lot of the same names. But then I'm here at number 13, which is actually pretty cool. So it seems like the majority of my time in trading was after 2022. Even though I joined a few months earlier, I didn't contribute too much at that time. And it was only really like as 2022 started to go on is when I started to contribute more and spend more and more time in trading. And then, of course, once I made Rocket Fuel, I'm here every day now. So this was pretty cool. Like, this was really nice information, and I think people took it in two ways. Some of them were like really proud of their time, and others were like kind of scared that they've spent literally thousands of hours of their lives in trading. So yeah, it was a nice little insight into the community from Halululo there. Okay, Sleety gave a contribution to the community yesterday as well by making a new meme of his, and this is a photo of Vitalik holding a piece of paper, and on the piece of paper it says, "I haven't forgotten the good times, have you?" And it's a photo of Vitalik meeting some of the team at DevConnect in Istanbul earlier, the last year, towards the end of third quarter of last year. And on the screen in the background, instead of having the Rocket Pool presentation, there's a little video of Mav doing a shui. So that's from the Atlas launch, I think, from the Atlas launch. So yeah, Vitalik still remembers the good times. He hasn't forgotten them, and maybe the rest of us can join Vitalik in his happy times there. Okay, next we've got some news from the Pizza DAO. So this is Pizza DAO in partnership with the Nouns DAO and Near DevHub, and they are presenting Pizza Castle. So this is an event that's taking place at the Sports Castle, and it's basically a pizza party where you can attend the event if you are so inclined. So what is Pizza Party? Well, let's say here, join the Pizza Mafia, and the name of the sponsors. And friends on Wednesday, February 28th. So this is happening in Denver, around the East Denver event, but it's on the opening night of the event. So on Wednesday the 28th at the Sports Castle, which was the old venue where East Denver used to take place. So they'll be having pizza, drinks, and lots of fun. This is ask your friends at Pizza DAO or one of our partners for the password. So I am going to share the password with you all. So if you click on this unlock protocol, this is where you can go to sign up for the event. And it's got some more information about the event and all the different sponsors. It tells you who they are. And if you want to RSVP, what you can do is you can put your name, your email address, and the password is Cowabunga, Cowabunga, Cowabunga. And that's, like from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They kind of made that phrase famous. And they're, of course, famous for eating pizza. So I have signed up for this event. It says that there are 245 tickets left. But from what I understand, it's actually going to be fewer than that. So sign up as soon as you can if you're going to be in Denver. I will be at this event So if you want to hang out with me, then you can see me at the pizza party, and yeah, just stop by and say hi whenever you want. And finally, I'm going to end today's episode with this little shout out for the weekly orbit. So as you all know, we release weekly episodes on Fridays that give an update of everything that's happened in the previous week in Rocket Pool, with some new stuff, especially like market talk, price talk, and that kind of stuff that I don't really do on Rocket Fuel too much. This week's episode is going to be talking about the Stark airdrop and a whole bunch of other things. So if you are interested in that, then make sure that you like and subscribe to the weekly orbit, and check for those episodes every Friday. And Pat and I will be doing some stuff together in Denver, so there's some special stuff to look out for next week as well. But on that note, I want to say thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community, and for everything that is good. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.